What's up everyone? Welcome back to RetroSupply. So you finally did it. You saved up all your pennies and went down to that shiny white fruit store and you bought yourself a brand new spanking iPad. And now you're just sitting there, staring at a piece of glass, realizing it didn't actually come with a magic talent button. So that's why today we're giving you guys a no-nonsense guide to the basics of using Procreate. I'm going to show you how to navigate this app so you can stop being intimidated by a bunch of icons and start making some beautifully imperfect art. And don't worry, this isn't a watch me click icons for 20 minutes kind of tutorial. I'll be drawing a retro little robot along the way, so you're not just watching me hover over a bunch of buttons. So let's get into it. When you first open Procreate, you're in the gallery. I like to think of this kind of like a digital fridge. You open it up, look what's inside, feel slightly disappointed, and then close it and forget why you're there in the first place. You'll notice there's a few options at the top. Hit select to focus on a piece. From there you can share it or delete it if you're feeling some serious self-doubt. You can select multiple canvases at once and stack them for a cleaner look. You can also name your work, which is something I clearly need to do more. You can also duplicate your works. I duplicate my files constantly because I got commitment issues. I like to know that I have a safe version before I go and do something experimental that might ruin the whole piece. But enough browsing the fridge. Let's get out our cutting boards and start cooking.
Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
Hit that plus icon on the top right. You'll see a bunch of presets, but we're going custom. I usually set mine at 2160 by 2700. Why? Because that's the dimension of an Instagram post, which is where 99% of my art ends up anyway. But here's the most important part, the DPI. Set that to 300. If you leave it low, you're basically drawing with digital sand. It's gonna look like a blurry pixelated mess. Don't be that guy. Just remember, the bigger the canvas, the fewer layers you'll get. It's a trade-off. Your iPad is basically a tiny, expensive brain, and just like myself, it can only think about a few things at once. Once you're in, the interface is deceptively simple. On the right, you've got your main crew. First, the brush tool. Procreate comes with a bunch of default brushes that honestly aren't too shabby for the basics, but if you really want to up your game and stop fighting the software to get a real look, check out RetroSupply.co. I use these brushes because I'm lazy. I want the brush to do the heavy lifting for me. I want the texture, the ink bleed, and the imperfections built in so I don't have to spend 6 hours faking it. It's basically a cheat code for making digital art look human. Today I'll be using the technical pencil from the Space Ranger pack for my sketch, and the dry fountain pen from Standard Pens for my inks, and then I'll finish it off with the halftones from Color Lab. I know what you're asking. How do I actually add a new brush to my library? Easy. Hit that little plus icon, select import, and find the brush or brushes you want to add and confirm. A little loading screen here and boom, new brushes in your library. Next up is the Smudge tool. Beginners usually use this to blend skin tones until their character looks like a smooth plastic Ken doll. Don't do that. Keep some texture in there. It's good for your soul. You can set this to any brush in your library, so experiment to find new looks. Then you've got your eraser. Here's a pro tip. Your eraser should usually be the same brush as your pencil. If you're using a gritty textured inker and you erase with a perfectly smooth digital brush, it'll look fake. If you tap and hold the eraser icon, it'll automatically switch to whatever brush you're currently painting with. Then you got layers and the color picker. On the left, you'll see 5 more buttons and a couple sliders. We'll get to all that stuff in a second. You're in the digital world now, my dude. Gone are the days of drawing on one sheet of paper. Welcome to the nearly limitless void of layers. Think of layers like different sheets of glass stacked on top of each other. You can paint on the top one and it won't touch the one below it. This means you can ink your heart out on layer 2, and if you realize you've made a horrible mistake, you can just delete it without killing your sketch you spent an hour on. You can rearrange your layers by grabbing them and dragging them above or below other ones. If you slide your pencil to the left on a selected layer, you'll get a few options. you can lock it, which I highly recommend doing once you finish a sketch, so you don't start accidentally inking on the wrong layer like a total amateur. You can duplicate it if you want to try something experimental without losing your progress, or you can just delete it and pretend it never happened, like my parents want to do. Next, check out that little letter N on the right side of the layer thumbnail. Tap that. It stands for normal, but it's actually the door to blending modes. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, blending modes are kind of a headache to explain, so we'll keep it simple for this video. Basically, they change how one layer's pixels interact with the ones beneath them. For example, let's check out multiply. Think of multiply like layering transparent ink or a marker on paper. It makes things darker by stacking the colors together. Anything white on that layer becomes transparent, and anything black stays black, and all the colors in between get darker. There's a whole list of other modes: screen, overlay, color burn, and they all do some interesting, sometimes chaotic things. So play around with them, see what happens, and maybe we'll do a deeper, nerdier dive on them in a future video. Next to your layers is that little colored circle, the color picker. Tap that and you're looking at your own personal Wonka factory of colored chaos. I usually stay on classic view, but you can switch it to disk if it floats your boat. If you're like me and your brain stops working when faced with the infinite void of the entire color spectrum, skip the wheel and go to the palettes tab. This is where you can create your own custom swatch sets. Just hit the plus sign, and every time you tap a color on the color wheel, you can save it into a little square. It's like building your own private crayon box. Now let's talk about the color drop, Procreate's version of a paint bucket. You don't have to go looking for a fill tool in the menu. You just grab that little colored circle in the top right with your pencil and physically drag it onto your canvas. Boom. It'll dump the color into whatever shape you've closed off. But here's the trick. If color floods your entire page like a spilled gallon of milk, don't panic. While your pencil is still touching the screen after the drop, slide it to the left. That's your color drop threshold. Sliding it left makes it less aggressive, and sliding it right fills every nook and cranny. Alright, back to all those fancy buttons on the left of your screen. These buttons, in order, are the size and opacity sliders, the gallery, the actions, adjustments, selection, and transform. This is essentially like your utility belt. First up, the sliders on the far left. The top one is size, and the bottom one is opacity. Don't just leave these at 100% all day. Play around with your size and opacity. If you vary up your brushes, you'll get some interesting effects. You can also tap on a section of the slider to save a brush size or opacity. This is super useful because sometimes trying to get your brush right is like doing surgery on a grape. Then you got the gallery button. It takes you back to that fridge we talked about earlier, so you can start something new or stare at your old stuff until you find something to do. Next is the wrench icon, also known as the actions menu. Under add, you can bring in photos or text. Under canvas, you'll find reference window. This is huge. It opens up a tiny floating source photo, so you don't have to keep flicking back and forth between Procreate and Pinterest like a maniac. This is also where you find the share button. This is where you can export your work. And of course, preferences. This is where you can toggle the light or dark interface. I keep mine on dark because I'm a brooding guy with a dark soul, like Batman, but with less molded nipples. Right next to the wrench is the magic wand, which is the adjustment menu. There's a bunch of things you can play around in there. You've got Gaussian blur for softening edges, and noise for adding a grainy texture that makes digital art look more real. You've also got chromatic aberration if you want that old TV color splitting vibe. But here's the real hero, Liquify. If I wasn't already engaged, I'd probably ask Liquify to marry me. It's the ultimate fix-it tool. If you realize you drew something that looks like a melted ice cream cone, you can just nudge it back into place. It's basically like digital plastic surgery, and I use it more than I'd like to admit. Then we have the S ribbon, which is the selection tool. This is for when you want to mess with one specific part of your drawing. You lasso a section, maybe an eye that's sitting too high up, and once it's selected, you hit that arrow icon, which is the transform tool. From here, you can move it, rotate it, or biggletize it. If you're doing perspective work, use the distort or warp modes to stretch your drawing until it fits. Procreate is built on gestures. If you ain't using your fingers, you're working too hard, man. Honestly, if you're still reaching for those tiny little arrows on the sidebar to undo a line, we need to have an intervention.
I still love you.
Two-finger tap is undo. This is a big one. You'll develop a physical twitch for this, a need. I've genuinely tried to two-finger tap a physical sketchbook after messing up a drawing with a real pencil. It's a lot to handle. Three-finger tap is redo. This is for when you realize your fix was actually way worse than the original, or when you accidentally undo a line that was kind of a banger. Then there's the pinch to zoom and rotate. Use it constantly. Your neck isn't made of galvanized steel bars, so stop tilting your head 90 degrees just to see the corner of your canvas. Move the paper, not your body. And if you zoomed in so far into a pixel that you lost your way, just give the screen a quick two-finger flick. It'll snap the canvas back to fill the screen perfectly. If you swipe 3 fingers down, you'll get the copy and paste menu. This is way faster than digging through that wrench menu every time when you want to duplicate a layer or cut a piece of your sketch out. And finally, if you're having a complete mental breakdown over a drawing and the vibes are rancid, just take 3 fingers and scrub the screen back and forth like you're trying to buff out a scratch. That'll clear the whole layer. And don't even get me started on the long press for the color picker. Just hold 1 finger down on any color already on your page or in your reference window, and a little ring will pop up to sample it. It's a total game changer for staying in the flow without having to open the color wheel every 5 seconds. We're coming into the home stretch here, so let's do a lightning round. These are 10 quick and dirty tips for a Procreate beginner who wants to stop fumbling around and start looking like a pro. We're gonna go fast, so try to keep up. Tip 1, perfect shapes. If you're trying to draw a circle but it looks more like a lumpy potato, just draw the shape and hold your pencil down at the end. Procreate will snap it into a perfect geometric shape. You can also do this with squares or polygons. Tip 2, alpha lock. Tap on your layer thumbnail. You'll get a list of a few really helpful and interesting tools. Today we'll talk about alpha lock. Alpha lock means you can now only paint on the pixels that are already there. It's the fastest way to add texture or shading, or change the entire layer's hue in one go. Tip 3, full screen mode. Sometimes the interface feels like it's suffocating you. Tap the screen with 4 fingers and boom, all the menus disappear. Now it's just you, your canvas, and your dark thoughts. Tap 4 fingers again to bring the rest of the world back. Tip 4, layer opacity shortcut. Instead of digging through that end menu to change a layer's opacity, just 2-finger tap on the actual layer thumbnail. A little slider will appear at the top of the screen. Slide your pencil left or right. It's way faster. Tip 5, quick menu. That square little button in the middle of your sidebar sliders, tap it. That's the quick menu. You can customize this to hold your 6 most used actions like flip canvas or new layer. Tip 6, palette from a photo. If you find a cool vintage photo or illustration online and you want those exact colors, don't try to eyeball it. Go to the Palettes tab, hit the plus sign, and select New from Photos. Pick your image and Procreate will automatically harvest a perfect 30 color palette for you. Tip 7, batch layer selection. If your layer stack is looking like a digital junk drawer, swipe right on multiple layers to select all of them at once. You can then group them to tuck them away into a neat little folder. Tip 8, drag and drop layers. Grab a layer, hold it, and use your other hand to tap gallery. Open a different file and drop it in. Tip 9, symmetry. If you want to draw a face and you're tired of one eye looking higher than the other, go to the wrench and turn on Drawing Guide and hit Edit Drawing Guide. Select symmetry. Now whatever you draw on the left happens on the right. Tip 10, color history. Take a look in your color menu. There should be a tiny bar showing the last 10 colors you used. Stop wasting your life trying to remember which specific shade of dirty mustard you were using 10 minutes ago. It's right there, dummy. And that's our Procreate speedrun. Now you got the map, it's your job to drive the car, and hopefully don't crash. Before we watch the time lapse of me finishing up our little Procreate robot buddy, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the shop. If you want to take the digital out of your digital art, head over to RetroSupply.co. We've got the brushes, the textures, and the tools that make this app feel like a real deal analog studio. Support what we do, grab some gear, and make the process fun. The link's in the description. And if you're actually trying to improve instead of just hoarding tutorials, hit that subscribe button. Alright folks, enough plugging, let's roll the time lapse. Look at that little guy. This little retro robot is basically how I think about Procreate. A chill little mechanical buddy that holds the iPad and the pencil steady and lets me cook. Procreate is deceptively simple, but it's actually an absolute beast and easily my favorite app to draw with. So quit overthinking the menus, open up a new canvas, and see what kind of mess you can make today. I'll see you in the next one. Happy creating.